Rise Up Morning Show. Hope you enjoy that, Evan. And everybody who's tuning in on YouTube. It is election day. Wow, wow. Oh, wait, right. I have my microphone plugged in. Wow, 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 wow. Hopefully everyone is, you know what? You're either out voting right now, or you're going to watch this and hopefully you're taking it as an opportunity to just relax. Cool the anxiety off. And by cool the anxiety off, I mean worry about your altcoin bag that's 50% down. So you're probably not cooling off much of your anxiety bag. Oh wait, I just realized. I don't think with this microphone plugged in, I'm going to be able to hear Evan and Alex. Oh no, I'm not. Damn. Wait a second. Fuck, I do have to get a headset. Shit. Fuck. Shit. Fuck. I hate spending money. Unless it's on Bitcoin or Pokemon cards. Good morning. Happy election day, everybody. I guess I will now put this away since I can't use my new shiny mic. Sorry, President Business. I know, you should be sorry. Let me see, getting Evan up here. Use it for singing.
Hey. What's going on, man?
Oh, coming to the realization I just have to keep spending money, you know? Keep spending money.
Sorry to hear that. Hang on, I have some boofing dogs, but I'm sure they'll be quiet in a second when they figure out you're not, in fact, really at our house.
I'm not actually invading your household.
No, he's not. I'll be on video in a second too. I was trying to get my setup done, and I couldn't get it to work either. So it'll be a tomorrow thing. I'm currently pottying some dogs. So good morning, everybody. You'll have my face in a moment.
Guten Morgen.
Guten Morgen.
Yeah, everybody, tell us all who you're voting for, and then we all will collectively yell at each other. That'll be the show today.
Yeah, if you're voting in the United States this morning, I hope your lines aren't as long. Our good friend of the show, Joe, over at Faceless Labs, sent us a picture. He's a middle school principal, so he's got places to be, things to do, people to see, and the whole parking lot was full. He was like, I can't even get into the line to vote. It was wild. So hopefully wherever you are, it's not going to be that busy. I know my fiance is voting today, and I said, oh, I hope you don't have a big line, baby. Did you vote already, Will?
No, I didn't. Also, I didn't know that she was your fiance.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. It's old news. We took it public. I think I might have announced it on the show maybe a day that you weren't here. I'm so sorry to say it. I'm a terrible fiance. Yes, I am engaged to be married.
Wow.
Thank you very much. So now it's just up to you, man.
Yeah, we'll see. Me and my girlfriend have a nice long road planned until that day.
Which is good, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Honestly, we would more than likely be forever. We've already talked about this. We'll be forever fiancés, and then just like have a party with friends, but like never get any kind of marriage done with the government. We'll be like forever fiancés. This is fine with us.
You know, I never thought I'd be married, and I thought I'd be a forever fiance person, but it's important. It's important for me and Kimberly. I think it's great that you guys, can make meaning about it, though. That's the most important thing. And I pray, man, that our government gets their shit together enough to let people who do that kind of thing, have all the same kind of rights and freedoms and whatnot without having to jump through rigmarole, which is why it's important everybody goes to vote. That's my commercial.
Yep. What up, Alex?
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
So, Alex, you missed it, but we're all talking about who we voted for, and then we're going to yell at each other.
Yeah, we all said, let's wait till Alex gets here so we can make fun of him for whoever he chose to vote for.
Evan and I, we already did it. Everyone saw it. So now it's you. You just have to tell everybody all of your political thoughts and feelings.
Yeah, I took my actual phone into the ballot box with me. Yeah. It was a literal box.
Yeah, which is illegal, but, he did it for us.
Because I'm a rebel.
Yeah, he is.
Haven't done it yet. going after this whole.
Yeah, I'm going after this too. I was thinking about going at 7 a.m., but then I remembered that everyone will be going before and after work, so I will go at 10:30.
Yep, exactly.
Genius move.
The other thing I found out, which was a very sad news for me, is I can't vote for RFK because he took his name off the ballot in Massachusetts, even though he said he was going to keep it here. Son of a bitch. I feel lied to.
Well, you can still write it in if you really want to.
Oh, good.
I don't know. I'm also gonna scrape a lot of dog shit up today, so that's also gonna happen.
Machiste Day. I wrote in bunches. Bunches for president. That's who we can all get behind that.
Bullish on bunches.
That's who we all want.
Ask Christine if she can knit him a little tiny, like banana tie for his not his coronation. You know what I mean? His coronation. It will be a coronation for Bunches. The first presidential coronation in history is for Bunches, the banana gun monkey.
Wait a second. Is this real Casey Craig or fake Casey Craig?
We never know.
I think it's real Casey.
I think it's real Casey too. She said congratulations on my engagement, which doesn't seem like a very bot thing to say.
No, but let's find out. Roll the dice.
We do have a long term. Oh my God, it's the real you.
Hey! Morning.
It makes me laugh every time. Like, I sit there and chuckle for like a straight minute while you wait to figure out if it's actually me before it lets me on.
We've been burned too many times.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's because one time we saw you and we didn't do the thing where you just check the username, and they requested to come up and we let them, and they just sat off camera and breathed for a few minutes, and we were like, wait a second.
Hold up.
That's so
Yeah,
gross.
it was uncomfortable. I thought you were trying to intimidate us.
And it was effective.
Okay, Casey, pretend to be me. Well, you just be yourself. I gotta scoop some poop real quick right now, and then I'll be on camera with all of you. I'll be right back.
Just go for it. Well, all I'll say is, since the election's on everybody's mind, guys, I think that when the election results come out, no matter who it is, the markets will go down a bit, and then the Fed will announce interest rate cuts on Thursday, and then the markets will go up. That's what's going to happen.
Is that the consensus on the rate cut, that it's going to be 25 basis points?
Yeah. Ever since, I mean, it was already pretty high. That high chances that the Fed would be cutting interest rates on Thursday. But then when the jobs report came out for October, that was really, really bad, which is very, very misskewed because of all the hurricanes and the strikes. But because of that bad data, people are saying it's pretty much solidifying an interest rate cut of 25 basis points. Gotcha. And then a general good rule of thumb is to whatever Elizabeth Warren is asking for interest rates to be cut by, just take that figure and cut it in half, and that's what ends up happening. So Elizabeth Warren is out saying that there should be a cut of 50 basis points. So just cut that in half, and it'll end up being 25 basis points.
Gotcha.
You know,
That's a pretty good rule of thumb to follow. Actually, if you looked back, that's probably a pretty accurate indicator there.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's surprisingly effective. Oh. But yeah, anyway, it's weird to think of things other than the election today. It's also weird that I have business meetings, and I kind of want to send them all a note and be like, guys, like, really? And like, I need the distraction. Okay, all right, cool. We can talk business.
I get that it's a little symbolic, but I've always thought it was kind of weird that today's not a red letter day. It just seems like
a red letter day?
Federal holiday.
Oh, yeah. It should be a federal holiday, right? Or it should be like you can vote like 2 days. Like there are 48 hours of polls open, right? Or something like that. Just keep it open so more people can come and vote. Federal holiday, more people can go and vote any time of the day.
Seems like a thing that would be super American to just make it as open and available for people to get in there and vote as possible, including people who have jobs that they can't walk away from in the middle of the day.
One would think, or like maybe a weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe. But
I remember obviously when I was active, they give you time to go do it, but there's like crews that are on duty, and that's a 24-hour cycle. So you can't leave. You don't get to leave. So you got to like absentee, even if you're at home, just because you're on duty, and that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but Emily and Mia's right. That would allow more working people to vote, and we can't have that.
What was I thinking?
Yeah.
I was thinking too how goofy it is. Like I grew up in the country of Pennsylvania, and not like the country of Pennsylvania, like the countryside of Pennsylvania.
No.
And-
I was gonna the country of Pennsylvania. I was just gonna let you go, and then I was gonna quickly get into chat and be like, "Hey guys, can you go to the
I knew
country?"
it was coming. I've been doing TikTok now long enough to know that anything I say will just be like, but yeah, we got off school for the first day of hunting season every year. That's the kind of town I grew up in. But yet, like nothing happens on election day. It's like, I think our priorities are a little funny here.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that. The first day of deer season. When I was in college, I was in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, and that was a holiday. Like there was just straight up no school on opening day.
Mm-hmm. But when you go like more rural, also there's just like different laws and stuff like that. Like where my mom grew up and where I spent my summers as a kid in Farmington, Maine, which is about 45 minutes away from the Canadian border in Maine. And all of my cousins, I was never able to do it because I was too young, but all of my cousins from the age of like 9 to 12 all got to drive the tractor on the highway because our farm was right, like a highway went right by it. Eminent Domain put it there like 80 or 90 years ago. And then you would just see like a little kid on a tractor going from like one part of the farm to the other. And like the local cops would like stop and like, go behind us and shit to like make sure. But yeah, it's just like weird stuff gets allowed. Kids are also like, what was it? It was when you needed to go and like pick crops, you're able to go to school late or leave school early also. It's just like, it's like old timey stuff. All his cousins named Will. No, not that side of the family. That side of the family, they all have different names. Like my cousin Aaron and Erica and Emily and Elise. They all just start with E's. They're not the same.
You're forgetting that his brothers are all named Will.
My brothers are all named Will.
And his dad and all of his brothers are all named Will.
Very different, very distinct and easy to keep track of. Very easy to keep track of. William, huh? No, that one. That one. The bald one. No, the tall one. The dumb one.
I saw your mustache.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm definitely firmly on Violet's side here. You got to keep that bad boy for at least a while.
Yes, I have though tried to grow it out. Someone said that if I did grow it out, I would look like younger Peter from the Daredevil, or from not the Daredevil movies, from the Deadpool movies.
Mm.
Yeah, and I was like, I would if I could, but it's not.
I'll give it to you though. Like, not everybody can rock a mustache, and you rock it. It's a good look.
Aw, thanks, Casey. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's a very visceral reaction though, and it is funny because I do it every November, and I go home for Thanksgiving, and my mom, my dad, and my closest brother in age all have very visceral negative reactions to it, and I'm just like, yes, hello. And they're like, stop it, please get away. It's great. And then I have my girlfriend who's just like, I love your mustache. And I'm like, good.
Yeah, I had when I first grew one, it was mostly as a joke, and then it kind of worked out, and I was like, oh shit, look at that. And then went through the same thing where Christina told me that I had to get rid of it, and then I did, and she took one look and was like, you can grow it back if you want. Like, okay, sweet. Well,
you can grow it back if you just saw how sad you were in your eyes. You can grow it back if you want. Just hand on your shoulder. It's okay.
That was years ago, and I never looked back. Although, except now I've let the rest come in too.
Yep.
But
Can I just take a minute to say, like, any live or like any spaces that I've done the past couple of days, they've all just been random conversations because everybody's just in like a holding pattern. Nobody's talking about crypto. We're all just like mustaches and this and that, and like this is such a theme.
We're so tired.
No, I was just thinking that as we were talking about my mustache, and I was like, man, we still have like 90 people in here just like listening to this conversation, and meanwhile they're like, talk about crypto. And Yeah,
The
no,
cold-
it's
cold
it's
open
just,
surgery.
it's just so hard right now.
Well, so on that note, though, someone was like holding, buying, selling, and I'm pretty firmly in just the holding pattern because
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked about this before. I'm not a great trader by any stretch, and I don't trust myself to like make any predictions or whatever, which is why I don't make them. But I'm just constantly impressed by how like non-dumpy Bitcoin is being this entire year. Like I just, I feel like moves to the downside are not as aggressive as they have been before. And I can only assume or attribute that to ETF stuff and old Larry.
Larry.
Larry being a big old buyer and making commercials all the time and doing whatever. So
Yeah, I think it's not to say that Bitcoin can't dump, but I just think that the floor on Bitcoin is a lot higher now. Like,
Yeah.
whereas before, there was so much Bitcoin concentrated in the paper hands, and it's not now. And it's not like, most ETF holders aren't making emotional decisions either because they're not even checking the price of Bitcoin. Like if you think about when was the last time you called up your financial advisor and said, I want to change the strategy in my portfolio because the S&P is not performing. People don't do that because they're not even checking. So like when we talk about people who are holding the ETF, it's pretty similar.
no, that's a very good point. I check my IRA probably once every 2 to 3 months. And that's more just like close. It's not like I'm making moves. I think in the entire existence of my IRA, I have made 2 or 3 moves based on like what stuff was doing. And even that, I was like, okay, I really want to do this. But yeah, so it's kind of nice to see that level out a little bit, in my opinion.
I also think it's interesting that we're up on the month, but we're down on the week. And I don't necessarily think it matters much when there's macro stuff happening. But like your point, Casey, we're at a higher low now. And to Will's point yesterday, I thought the most fun stat from the show yesterday was that every 4 years, the election cycle sets a new local low that is never returned to again. Mm-hmm. And it could be that bottom is in. And I don't know, we're only what's that mean? 3 cycles deep? It's nothing in the world of scientific data analysis. We could absolutely break that trend this cycle. But I will tell you one thing. My dad was talking to him last night, and his father, Grandpa Tony, was Grandpa Tony, and it's great. He looks just like my dad. This is like an old picture of him.
Props for conveniently having a photo of Grandpa Tony, by the way. The context is amazing.
I'm at my dad's desk. It's really perfect. So Grandpa Tony, he came from the old country. He came from Italy and lived in Las Vegas his whole life. He was like a lifelong casino industry guy. Pit boss, knew the town in and out, could get you anything.
That Italian casino guy.
He was connected.
The old days.
Don't make me tell you about my Uncle Pooch, okay? I'd have to kill you. But the story Dad told last night was about betting against the streak. Grandpa Tony said, you never bet against the streak. So if Bitcoin's streak is that it's setting a new low, I'm going to keep betting that, we're going up from here. He said he had story after story of people in a casino who, hit the dice, hit the slot, hit whatever, and they'd keep going. But after 2 times, after 3 times, after 4 times, the pressure came for them to, bet against the streak, even if they didn't stop. But he said, never bet against the streak because all you're going to lose is your initial buy-in. And everything you stand to gain increases every time. If you're going to make a bet in the other direction, just get off the table, but don't ever bet against the streak. So, lesson from Grandpa Tony. If he was here today, he'd probably be betting on Bitcoin's streak. He'd probably be going long.
And as someone who went to the casino to pay his rent in college month after month, I can totally verify never go against the streak. Never do that, particularly at a craps table. Never do that at a craps table.
Can I just express the disappointment that I think every one of us is feeling with you, Evan, that like advice from Grandpa Tony has not been a staple of your content?
Yeah, right? Like, where is this? I need more Grandpa Tony isms.
Okay, I'll make a new TikTok playlist.
Thank
I
you.
definitely will. That'll go on TikTok for
It's
sure.
honestly messed up that you haven't done that already, and I'm sad.
Yeah, man. If Grandpa Tony had gotten along with his family and hadn't like run away from home kind of thing, I could have been Evan Mamana with olive skin year round living in Sicily. It would have been great.
Yeah. If my family hadn't have sold all the lands they had on Martha's Vineyard when they first came over, man, oh man, I'd have so much money and I'd be wearing such brightly colored clothing.
And more linen, probably.
What was that?
And more linen, probably, yeah?
Definitely more linen. And I'd have a really small, very weird looking home that's worth a lot of money on an island. You know? Because those houses are silly. If you guys are unaware. If you're unaware, Google homes in Martha's Vineyard and then say silly. And you just get like Easter egg painted homes that are the size of dollhouses that are worth like $7 million. It's silly.
Now, I
Oh,
do
rich
see
people. So silly.
I do see we have a crypto question here that you responded to, Casey, about market cap, saying, yes, we can explain. Do you want to give us some context? And if you've got a crypto question, we will indeed answer it. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why market cap is important for a particular crypto, but namely being that you have to think about kind of the way that pricing works of crypto assets, right? So if something has a really, really low market cap, and this isn't a general, I mean, I guess you could call it a general rule of thumb, where like the lower the market cap, the riskier the thing is going to be, right? Because if something has a market cap of, let's say, $10,000, it only takes $10,000 for that thing to double or to go away. If something has a market cap of $1 billion, it takes a lot more money to move that thing in price, right? So as far as the volatility is concerned, there's a lot that goes into that. And so whether you're looking at long-term investments or if you're talking about like meme coins or whatever, if you're looking at your longer-term investments, again, you can think of it as the higher the market cap, the more established that project is. I don't want to say safer because there's so many other things that go into it than just its market cap, but it takes more money to move something with a higher market cap than it does something with a lower market cap. So that's, something to keep in mind.
I'll say that market cap is it's a data point that of course matters, but it's not the end all be all. And it means less in smaller instances. My go-to example is this little meme coin that I found this one time that was just the perfect thing for my example, which didn't have very many holders. And so they set the floor at something, which is a thing that you can do if you can communicate with the entire holder base of a token. Because don't forget, market cap is not actually a measurement of how much money is in something. It's the price of an asset times the full circulating supply.
Yeah.
So, or the total supply, circulating supply, whatever, supply. And if the holders all set the floor, the market cap becomes whatever the hell it becomes. And this tiny little meme coin with like 38 holders had a $400 trillion market cap because everyone who owned the supply just set the price at something that no one would ever pay, but it didn't matter because they owned it and they could do whatever they wanted. So in that sense, it didn't mean anything. It was a meme.
Yep.
So just keep that in mind. It's not like, don't confuse it with money in an ecosystem. And then that starts to go, become more and more and more of a thing, the bigger and bigger and bigger a project gets. So to basically all I'm saying is that you can set the floor at whatever you can get everyone to agree on, which is how the price of any asset gets set.
I used to explain market cap as all the money in the pot because I thought it was a helpful way to get people to understand the tokens, their value. But I have stopped saying that and have been looking for a new way to explain it because I realized that that's just like misleading, unhelpful language.
And
I haven't wrapped my head around 2 sentences yet.
And I saw Irene's comment, which is I don't understand anything here, crying face. And then someone explained crying face. So Irene, where I would say is like a good place of base understanding that I tell new people is it doesn't explain what market cap is, but it explains how and why to look at it as an investor. So if you look at a market cap that say is $1 billion and another coin that has a market cap that has a smaller number, $100 million, maybe $50 million, $25 million. as a first-time investor, what you do when you look at that is you say, cool, this high market cap coin is going to have a little bit less volatility. It's going to swing to the upside and the downside less aggressively because there's more money in the pot, if you will. And whereas those $100 million market caps, $50 million market caps, $25 million market caps, they're going to be much more aggressive swings to the up and downside, which can be good. It's typically more attractive if you're a trader. And if you're an investor and you're looking for the fabled, 20x's, 30x's, 50x's, 100x's that you hear about that do happen, although, it's hard to find them in the crypto space, those are only possible with market caps that are smaller. So as a trader and investor, you don't need to understand necessarily all the details of what a market cap is. But the explanations by Alex and Casey were perfect and spot on. But as an initial trader and investor, how you look at them and how to get use out of them is by saying, cool, a smaller market cap is there is a higher potential for gains, as well as a chance for you to lose your money faster. But in a larger market cap, it's more established and it's not going to have as aggressive moves, typically. So that's the first place to start with. How do I use this to help me build a strategy and build my portfolio? And then once you get past that, then ask yourself the question, okay, like what the hell actually is this? And you find out it's not the total pot of money, but the amount of money in there times the circulating supply, right? So but that's where I started. I started with what is the market cap? And I got confused by it. And I went, well, how the hell do I use this? And I go, oh, okay, that's how I use this. I started there and then moved forward.
Yeah, I think another important mental model that I use market cap for is if there's an asset that I'm looking at, I like to set kind of realistic expectations for, I don't love to give you guys price targets. I don't love to. But when I'm trying to set myself price targets, aside from any technical analysis, like from a fundamental perspective and a logic perspective, where could this thing go? I set that using the market cap. So if the current market cap of a thing that you're looking at is, $100 billion and you're like, oh, this thing's going to do 1,000x. No, it's not. Using math, it's not. It's not feasible. So if you look at something that has, maybe a $20 million market cap and that's really low. So I shouldn't say that. If you look at something that has maybe a, $200 million market cap and their competitor product has a $400 million market cap, is it reasonable to say that that thing could get to that? Yeah, absolutely. Again, all factors aside of if it's a good product or not, and there's a lot of other circumstances, but that's kind of a mental model that I like to use whenever I'm framing price targets. And one final point on market cap that I wanted to say is this is not at all to be harmful or to be rude of any other creators, but I was watching, I went on lives yesterday and I saw somebody doing technical analysis on a meme coin that had a $2 million market cap. And they're showing TA to their audience. And yeah, I'm just kind of guys, again, this isn't me trying to be mean to any other creators, but when there's something that has a $2 million market cap and that coin has people that control 5-10% of the supply, in one candle, in one transaction, that thing can dump 60%. So just your technical analysis does not mean shit whenever it's on something with a $2 million market cap. So just be mindful of that as well. So not to be a jerk, but.
No, it's such a good point. I wish I had said that. The other day I was sharing just some personal thoughts and not very substantive criticism about Calvin Hill. I'll say his name. And one of the problems I have is that I think it's misleading to teach people they can infer a scientifically sound answer to build conviction upon by doing technical analysis on a meme coin, for example. I just think it's unhelpful. I want to give an example real quick too. Go ahead, Ro.
And I was going to say, touching on the memes also, there was someone asked a question about oh, what are your thoughts on Ponky? And any coin we get asked about, guys, we will just say I like it, I don't like it. But with meme coins specifically, my personal opinion is if you're going to do, I get questions all the time, when I do my own live, it's well, what about Brett? What about Base God? What about Popcat? What about poop poop pee poop doo poop poop da ba ba da coin?
My favorite.
My favorite, yeah, that one. It's a really long name, a lot of P's. And I just go, guys, there's no real research you can do on a meme coin. There isn't really. It's just it's vibes. It's vibes. And do people like those vibes? And if yes, then it goes up. And then the higher it goes, the more likely it gets more eyeballs and people like the vibes and vibes go. Right now in meme coins, people like cat vibes. So cat coins are doing well. You know, before that, dog coins did well. You have political meme coins do well because that's the flavor of the day. You had Moodang pop up. Like, it's just vibes. There's no people are like, oh, can you research this coin? I'm like, what's the point? Like, it's a total waste of time, in my personal opinion. And you have your blue chips. You have like your Dogecoin that is, you know, rug proof. It's going to be around for forever. You have, you know, these coins that have proven that they have staying power in our silly little industry. But there's no point in doing research on meme coins because it's just vibes. If you like the vibes, put a little bit of money to gamble in if it's small. But get ready for it to all go away.
Amen.
Yeah, and on Ponky too, since somebody specifically asked, like within the last couple of days, Ponky is in the Binance Futures graveyard. There's a trend that happens where, you know, it used to be back in the day, it was always when Binance. Like when stuff would get listed on Binance, it would go absolutely parabolic. Ponky got listed on Binance Futures and tanked like 50%. And that's a trend that tends to happen. Like if you look at GOAT, as soon as it got listed for futures, it tanked. And when I say futures, I mean perp trading, which is like leverage trading on these assets. And the reason for that, guys, it just goes to further illustrate the points that these gentlemen have made today, which is there are insiders on all of these projects that hold a massive portion of the supply. And when they get listed for futures or for leverage trading, the insiders go and open up big short positions on these tokens, and then they sell them on the open market to dump the price, and then they print on the short position. So they're already up on the token, they sell it, they make their bag there, and then they go and they print on the short position as well. So just know that the meme coin market is heavily manipulated as well. And yeah, so I don't know, Ponky, for the person that was asking, like, what's my opinion on why it tanked? Well, because it got the curse of Binance Futures, that's why.
Yeah. And Jared, there are absolutely insiders in utility coins. I can tell you're being sarcastic, but there are insiders in the overwhelming majority of new coins that get released in a bull run, right?
Yeah, and a lot of them have vesting schedules. You know?
Yeah,
so
those
you know
vesting
exactly
schedules.
when they're going to sell or when they can sell.
Yeah, that's what you have happening to Celestia right now. What was it, 4 days ago? I haven't looked at the chart, but Celestia had 4 different groups of vesting schedules being unlocked at the same time. And it was November 1st, the supply of Celestia increased immediately by 16.3%. You know, these are the kinds of things you got to pay attention to.
Casey, can I petition you? I was writing you a comment to say, bring back that cloud with the sun behind it because it made you look like you were like the archangel of. It was like right behind your head. You were like, I don't know. It was good. It looks.
I'm actually sitting outside of my polling location is right over there, and I'm gonna go vote here. But the line is ridiculously long, so I'm just gonna stay and hang out with you guys for a while. And I have to tell you, I'm feeling incredibly self-important today because I am in Pennsylvania voting. Yeah, so like, it's my big day.
It's your big day. I'm honored you share it with us, and this is the kind of coverage we need on election day. Really.
Yeah, you could walk into the booth and be like, so who are you voting for? To these people on TikTok. Yeah. Is crypto on the ballot for you?
Yeah, so tell me your thoughts on Bitcoin.
What are your
Honestly, if
thoughts
you
on
have the energy and the battery after you exit, that would be a good use of a man on the street video. Is so what do you think about crypto? Were you aware it's on the ballot today?
That's a good idea.
And then you just get pepper sprayed.
I saw 2 things in the chat I thought we could give a quick example to, and one of them was just election plays related to market cap, which is I saw someone say they're betting both directions on like DJT and the Kamala meme token. I saw people leveraging bets on Bitcoin to go one way or the other. And an example of that market cap principle affecting your decision to place a bet might be to be one of those other bets. If you wanted to really, for the election day, what I'm doing is if I get to my computer later and I have the time, I'm going to open bets on Bitcoin, like gambling bets, like $5 bets. I'm not going to, just for fun. It's a lottery ticket because I'm in crypto. But I'm going to bet on Bitcoin because I don't want my bet to get liquidated. And the market cap of Bitcoin is so big it'll absorb a lot of impact in either direction. It's like a big ship turning. If one of my bets goes south, I will have more time to see the tide changing, hypothetically, and exit my position or reevaluate or whatever than I would ever have in any kind of meme token, because the market cap being so much larger makes it so much less volatile in that way. I like betting like that. I hate looking at my computer all day. Watching 1 second candles stresses me out. I hope that's a helpful example. And the other example is for Antoine in the audience. If you guys don't know Antoine, super friendly, super helpful, does great crypto content that is oriented towards explaining. It's somewhere kind of, Alex, between maybe what you would do and like the next practical step of like just obscure or common questions. Very helpful stuff. Antoine asked, how do you find the value in an ecosystem? Like, where is it going? And you mentioned DeFi Llama, Will. So I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone real quick and show you, if you've never seen DeFi Llama before, DeFiLlama.com is not a sponsor of the show. It absolutely should be.
Could be.
It's a great website where you can get a lot of information for free about crypto tokens and also networks. So right here at the top, they allow me to choose which network I want to look at. Casey mentioned Hyperliquid yesterday. Here's Sui, Avalanche. And I did a search for Blast because someone was asking, what do you think about Blast? Now, Blast has, let's see, their TVL, the total value locked in their network is 571 million, which is pretty good for an ETH2. Like, I'm not sad about that number. I can see how it's changed over time. I can see all of these different projects that contribute to that volume. Like, number one is Thruster. It's a DEX. It's $130 million TVL. I can evaluate their claims. Like, they have this claim that we're the only like ETH native stablecoin. So I toggled stablecoins on and I can see, oh, look, this green line on the chart tells me that in June, they had $25 billion of stablecoins on their in their ecosystem TVL. But I look at this, I wanted to see what's the activity, the volume. Look at how many people trade stablecoins on their network in June and how many do now. Nobody trades stablecoins there now. So
It's all in June. All of that volume's in June.
right.
It's because of the airdrop.
Yeah, it was
It's
there.
absolutely. It's because they had a huge hyped up airdrop. Blast is a great example of a venture backed crypto company that had excellent marketing. And they also had several initiatives to get you not only involved in like the incentive mechanism in airdrop, but to help you help them market. And what happened is not uncommon in crypto. After the airdrop occurred, big sell off. And now they're struggling to remain relevant or develop any product or whatever. So in about 2 minutes, I got to see not only like how I feel about Blast using DeFi Llama, but if I go down to that list of projects, if I'm still convicted in the ecosystem, maybe it'll have a comeback. I've got a list of 20 different projects who have TVL, attention, and they're riskier in the sense that they're smaller market caps, but there's a lot of upside there when you're betting on infrastructure. So Antoine, I hope that helps answer your question. And guys, I don't know where you want to take it after that. I went on a real roundabout to answer all this. But,
I think I have a question for Casey. Casey, what are some of your favorite tools to use? Because I know Evan's, I know Alex's, I'm sure we are probably all using kind of the same stuff. What are some of your favorite tools to like research a coin when people ask you and you might not be familiar with it?
Yeah, to be honest, hands down, DeFi Llama is my most used tool for basically everything in crypto. Other than that, just like quick checking day-to-day stuff is going to be CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, as well as I like Crypto Bubbles. I don't know if anybody's as autistic as I am, but it tickles my brain to see like a visual representation of like, it just clicks a lot faster for me of, oh, this is what's happening, rather than me actually like scanning with my eyeballs and my brain of my list of things and how they're performing for the day. So Crypto Bubbles is a great one. Another one is for like meme coin stuff. I like gmgn.ai. I like for like, I don't know, I guess it depends on what it's for, right? So I like Arkham for wallet tracking. I like Bird Eye for wallet tracking, stuff like that. But the tool that I use more than anything for research in crypto is going to be DeFi Llama.
yeah.
When you mentioned like I love the bubbles and it tickles my brain, I immediately got brought to what was it, Finding Nemo and the shrimp, and he's like bubbles and it closes. It's that one scene is so close to the front of my brain at all times. It's weird. Like how much higher up it's put my brain is like categorized it as like, no, you'll need this in conversation. Trust me.
Isn't it funny how that happens? But crypto bubbles, I'm telling you, it's been a tool that I have it on my phone, and like, so if and you can make your own list. So like it comes default with, you can kind of toggle back and forth between the top 100, the top 200, top like to 1,000, whatever, or you can create your own lists, and you can click back and forth through your favorite lists that you've made. But for anybody who's not familiar with crypto bubbles, again, this is not any kind of endorsement or anything from us, and I don't even think you can pay for it if you want to. Like, it's just 100% free. But what it is it shows you bubbles on the screen indicating, the ticker of the crypto that you like, and the larger the size of the bubble corresponds to the size of the price movement of that thing. So if there's 10 assets shown on crypto bubbles, and like there's one big bubble, well, that thing moved really big relative to the other ones. And so at a quick glance, you can see, okay, if I have my portfolio in crypto bubbles and there's a couple big bubbles and everything else is small, well, what are the outliers that I have to like take a quick, so thank you, Will, for pulling that up.
So like if
you take a look at that screen, you can see right now, like the winners for the day are going to be Ape and Mog, and the losers for the day, and Doge, obviously, the losers are going to be Maker and Ton and Rune, right? So like, for me, it just makes it so much easier to just at a quick glance see what's going on in my portfolio, and it really helps you identify outliers. So, and you can filter by like day, week, month, all that good stuff. So, highly recommend.
Yeah, this is nice. And yay, go that coin! Hooray for me! It's green. Huzzah.
Also not sponsored, but we could be.
Not sponsored, but we could be. Except I will absolutely sell you so hard.
Yeah. Ange says, what are the bubbles that show wallet holder amounts? That is called Bubble Maps, yet another bubble website, but that is Bubble Maps.
Yeah, bubbles are helpful. We love
They are.
bubbles.
I'm such a visual person.
Interesting. Actually, this is cool. I'm gonna show you guys the bubbles again, because that was the daily chart, but
Because you know what we're here for, man.
Here we
We're
go.
here for the bubbles, dude. No data, just vibes.
Now here's daily, right? Here's weekly. Weekly is sad, right? Here's the month.
Depends on your definition of sad.
Oh, that's true. Radium's the clear winner at 91% right there. Still Mog, Mew, and then here's for the year. Radium's up 1,100%, which surprises me. Mog,
I want to see where Jupiter is relative to that.
Pepe,
Doesn't surprise me at all.
let's see. Jupiter. No, yeah, Jupiter shouldn't be on here, but it is for the month. Jupiter is at 19.6%.
Is this top 100, Will?
This is top 100. Yes.
Okay. I said no data, just vibes, but what I meant was that bubble maps and crypto bubbles are the perfect synergy of data and vibes.
So, just rapid fire a couple things. Okay, so I've been having a small back and forth in the comments here.
I knew you were.
Someone who really wants to be financially advised. So I'll just, good rule of thumb, if you pay Will $25,000, he will give you financial advice. There you have it. If you rely on someone else to give you your opinion, it doesn't mean anything, and your odds of losing are going to go way up. If someone else decides for you whether you should invest in something or sell something, you're just a conduit for someone else. You're not doing anything for yourself. You truly have to take the thing that you're like repeatedly asking. Machiner, you have heard this lecture a lot of times. Take the thing that you're asking everyone and their grandmother for thoughts on and formulate your own thoughts on it by reading something that doesn't come from a talking head on this screen. If you rely on someone else to tell you when to buy and sell, you're going to be beholden to that person to continue giving you those signals for the entire duration of your investment, which just exponentially increases your odds of getting hooked. Even if it's a good buy, even if it's a good sell, even if it's a bad buy, bad sell, it doesn't matter. If you don't understand why you're making the move, what are you going to do when the internet is out for a day and you can't like get TikTok and then the price dumps and you're like, I don't know. You're just going to guess. You're just, spray and pray. Like, it's just an awful strategy. And if you're like looking into something, here's a good rule of thumb too. If you're like, okay, got it, Alex, you yell at me about this every single day. I'm going to go do some research and read about something. And then you're like, what the hell am I even reading? What does this even mean? None of this makes any sense. I don't understand that's a pretty good indicator that the thing you're looking at is not great. If you, the target audience, theoretically has no earthly idea what the hell this company is trying to sell you, that means that everyone is just gambling and speculating based on nothing but a vibe. And that should scare you a bit, and that should help influence your opinion about what to do with that thing. So just think about all of these different things, because crypto is complicated and it's annoying, and it's supposed to, it's supposed to help you. And if you have no clue what you're looking at, it's a pretty good indication it's not doing a great job of helping you, which means that people are just gambling on it. Mm-hmm. Let all these things influence your overall opinion.
Alex, I want to be the first to officially petition you to start doing a playlist called Moments with Crypto Dad, where you come into our room with a coffee cup, or you sit down on a chair and you say, "You're old enough now. I think it's time we had the talk."
Yeah.
And that could be, one, you could talk about practicing safety always, every time, and whipping out your cold wallet, that kind of thing. There are so many good dad moments.
Honestly, it'd be a good TikTok skit.
It would be a good TikTok skit, and you would be
TikTok skit
for it, because we feel that energy from you, Alex. You're like the protective crypto dad who is, firm, but it would be worse. We're not afraid you're going to beat us up. We are afraid that one day you're going to look at us and say, "I'm disappointed in you."
Disappointed
we'll
in
just
you.
crush our entire world.
Yeah, if Alex ever told me he was disappointed in me, like that would cut deep.
Oh.
Like, you all can talk shit all day, any day. If Alex looked at me and said, "I'm disappointed in you," I would be upset.
Over.
Casey, I told Evan this, but there was one, or I think I told Alex. I forget. I was doing the live, and one of you guys weren't on, or I was doing the live by myself. Anyway, there was a comment from a member of our community that said, "Hey, I've been taking profits along the way finally, but not for myself to profit, just so that Alex's voice in my head stops screaming at me." And I
love that.
I was like, he's gonna love hearing that so much. I was thinking,
that's incredible. And you might not realize it at the time. Like, maybe that thing keeps going up and you're doing your mental gymnastics of, I could have had more if I just would have kept this much in there. And then one day you're going to thank Alex for that, because securing profits is the number one thing that you will never, ever regret in crypto. Yes, maybe short term, something pumps after you get out of it or after you take some profits, and it might sting a little bit. But I promise you, not taking profits hurts a lot worse.
oh yeah.
It does. 100%.
I'm going to go and vote for Alex for president. I'm going to write him in on my ballot here today.
Hell yeah. Daddy Alex for president.
I do remember the person who said they heard my voice in their head about profits, and that made me deeply and profoundly happy.
Yeah. Yep.
That is the influence that I would like to have.
Mm-hmm.
You do.
Well, honestly, it might be the most positive influence in the entire crypto space on TikTok. So, someone's got to do it.
No, I think that's why the trilemma here is good, because you have, there's a lot of I think there's a lot of really good and valuable information that you can get from talking heads on the internet. But the thing that you should not get from talking heads on the internet are buy and sell signals. You just don't let yourself become beholden to someone else's decision making.
Yeah, because you're always doing it later than them.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that there's a difference too between taking ideas from people and then going and researching it yourself, and just straight up outsourcing your thinking. Like, you can't do that in this space. because, of course, the four of us are here to try and be the most safest, secure source of information for cryptocurrency that there is out there. But we all have our personal biases too that may or may not shine through at times, right? Like there are things that we have that we like that you may or may not agree with. But also there are a lot of talking heads on the internet that have a fiscal motivation to sway you in one way or another. So again, please don't outsource your thinking. That's what I always tell people is think for yourself.
So that's a great segue to this question I know you pointed out about price targets. You said, I don't give people my price targets, but you also said you can learn from other people. You all said that. I think it's the difference between seeing a Michelangelo painting and trying to reproduce it stroke for stroke and sell it, or seeing a Michelangelo painting and dedicating your life to discovering the art in you. Being informed by all the styles, flow, be like water, my friend. And I think price targets is one of the bit parts of the skill of taking profits. So how do you guys go about looking at a crypto token? You've done enough research to ascertain it's worth more time and attention. You might want to start buying in, but you're not sure, like, how do I determine when to buy and also when to sell? And maybe calculating how long the time between might be, staying ready to pivot if things change. Can we talk about that? And
yeah. So
give me all the secrets?
Let me use Alex. Nope, you chomping at the bit. Go for it.
Just because I have to leave in a couple minutes.
I know you have a hard stop. Yeah.
Yeah. This is actually the perfect question because it allows me to very succinctly say why I don't give price targets and price predictions and buy signals and unsolicited financial advice. This is going to sound bullshit, but I'll explain it. I promise. I have never made a single price, even in my own head, that I don't tell anyone. I do not make price targets. I don't tell myself, like, if this crypto hits this price, I'm going to sell. I've never done that, and I cannot imagine that I ever will. I've been doing this, buying and selling, for years. And at this point, I literally just have the spidey sense about it. If I look at something and I'm like, that just seems like an unsustainable move up, I will sell it. Or that seems like an unsustainable crash, I will buy something. Assuming that it's an asset that I enjoy, that I have conviction in, that I feel good about, blah, 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 blah.
Meaning like you're going to have it for more than like the end of the day, right?
Yeah, unless I'm having a beer with Evan in a Discord VC gambling on the shittiest shit coins ever, in which case anything under $25,000 is the target. And we are.
He was too young.
I'm on the 1 second chart. No, but so actually, the Crypto Bubbles website is a really good one to help kind of visualize the vibe of like that's too much one way or the other. Just because they put it visually, which is just really easy to look at and see like, oh my God, look at the size of that green bubble, or the size of that red bubble. Like, that's not healthy one way or the other. Something happened that caused that. And so rather than making a price prediction, whenever the price of something goes up too fast or down too fast, I always look at it and I just have that same thought process. Like, something here is off. I can probably capitalize on this offness one way or the other. If it's off to the upside, I'm going to take some off the table because nothing goes up that fast and stays up forever. It just doesn't happen. What goes up in crypto comes down. The faster you go up, the faster it comes down. So it's just been like this sort of, like you said, Evan, be like water. This like, ebb and flow vibe feel that I've just been fleshing out for years, which is exactly why I never talk about it. In terms of like setting targets or doing whatever, because you can't replicate that. You have to experience it. The only thing I can pass on is just to say, if you have any opportunities to leave the table with more money than you sat down with, you just won. You feel good about that. And if something happens that seems ridiculous, there's probably a way that you can capitalize on it, assuming the thing in question is something you believe in and have conviction in.
Yeah. Well said on all points. And then trying to set a price target. If you're up, it's never a bad idea to sell. But I'll share some just like basic technical analysis that I'll do on any coin. So here's a coin, right?
Will, I know you're better at this than me. One of the reasons is just because I I'm garbage at charts and TA, and I don't like have the confidence to like make myself do that to collect data to decide something. And I just play to my own strengths. I know I don't have the time or the interest in sitting down and learning charts and doing all these things. That's not a skill I have, so I don't use that to inform my decisions.
But that's a respectable thing that we should address.
Sure.
Like, everybody who's listening, Alex has been doing this for a long time. He's not trying to use something that he doesn't know how to use, and he's using what works for him. So it's also to be said, like, you don't have to use what everybody else is using, and use your own skill set to your advantage. So I love that you said that, Alex.
Yeah, and it's not that he doesn't have a system, it's that he has a system that looks different from other people's that works consistently for him.
Yep.
Yes, exactly.
So give us another system, Will.
And if technical analysis is all mumbo jumbo and it doesn't make any sense to you, I'm trying to give some mannerisms to add to my words. Then it's not for you, and go with Alex's strategy. But in general, if you're in profit, you sell. So one thing I love doing is I love consolidation patterns. So this white triangle here, you find the bottom line of resistance, you find the top line, or bottom line of support, I should say, the top line of resistance through all of this historical price action, and you can find a consolidation pattern. You can find the breakout of consolidation pattern by measuring it at its thickest point, which is right here. And how you find the thickest point is you find, okay, that was point 1, here was point 2, that is officially when this shape is forming. And you take that, I have to do the little puzzle thing to let TikTok know I'm still here and not a robot. All right. And then you take that distance and you put it on top of the breakout zone. You can see there's a pretty big swing here expected. However, we have also fallen down. So I like to give myself a conservative range. Said, okay, $2.62 to basically $2.50, right? So that gives me some price targets up here. The next thing that I'll do, and this is the second and basically final thing, is these magenta lines are from a tool called Fibonacci retracement, which ends up looking something like this. It's this rainbow colored chart, and you can see these areas here that show where resistance and support are likely to be found. This looks very ugly though, so I then take lines and put it there myself. So what this tells me is every point as we move upwards is a position where we are likely to find resistance, meaning that, the breakout of this consolidation pattern wants to send this up to like $2.60 above here, but it's going to start running into a lot of resistance here at its previous all-time high. So anywhere for me to sell really in this section is a prime I'm going to sell section, right? Give yourself a range. Don't try to mark the top exactly, because very rarely does technical analysis get you specifically to where the price is going to be. So then give yourself a range and say, cool, I'm going to set sell orders in this range. And, that can range between like an additional 20 to 30%, right? So like that's a simple technical analysis thing to use, is find a consolidation pattern, typically a triangle of any type like that, and then set areas of resistance and support with the Fibonacci retracement tool, and start to build a conservative sell target for yourself.
A quick follow-up is, do you do this on the 4-hour or the daily?
I do this on the daily. I think the 4-hour chart is and below isn't really useful, but there are day traders who find the hourly chart and the 4-hour chart super useful. It doesn't work for me. So what you should do is you should start with the weekly chart at the earliest. Find like the macro consolidation pattern. Use the weekly chart to do that, and set yourself up for a swing trade if you're new. A swing trade means you're trading a position over the course of weeks to months, right? And if you do swing trades, swing traders have a far higher likelihood of making you a winner, whereas day trading, it creates more losers than winners. People still lose in swing trading, of course, happens all the time. I've certainly done that. But your odds of winning are a little bit better because you get a better sense as to what the overarching industry-leading trend is, as opposed to what's happening in the noise of the daily or the 4-hour or the 2-hour, the 1-hour, the 30-minute chart. Yeah,
it's like trying to predict the end of a reality show after you've watched 10 minutes versus if you've been there the whole season.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah,
I want to summarize these and go to you, Casey. But I know that Alex has a hard stop because he's got to do his civic duty and he's got to do his all his stuff. What's your final thought, Alex?
Two. One, I just wrote down because I have never heard a phrase like this, and I just really like what you said, Casey, about not outsourcing thinking. I think that's a really succinct way to say something hyper important. So I am 100% going to steal that and pretend that I came up with it. And this is the way.
That's valid. As long as I don't disappoint you, it's okay.
Yeah. Well, I also stole an idea from Casey and did a video yesterday where you mentioned how funny it would be if Bitcoin didn't move at all after the election. And I was like, that's a good little video. It's a good little video.
That's okay. I was going to steal your video idea because I've been seeing on Twitter that same chart about how Bitcoin never goes back below where it's at. So we can just all steal each other's ideas.
Lovely.
It's a good message out.
Yeah.
I'm going to show up as Crypto Dad pretending to be Alex, just with and I'll be like, well, son.
I'm gonna be like, my God, he got gauges for this? Crazy. He really dedicated himself to this.
Okay, so that's final thought one. Give me number two.
Evan's a professional. He's an actor. He goes all out. There's no.
I do have a video where for Halloween I impersonated Alex when you're doing rapid fire crypto news. You can dig back for it on my profile.
That's a good one. I actually completely forgot that existed, and that was one of the defining moments of my TikTok career.
Yeah.
The other thought is kind of just to double down on what I said. If you ever find yourself asking someone else for their thoughts on something and you're not prepared to share with that person your already thoughts on the thing, you have some reading to do, and that's fine. There's lots of stuff to read. But let that initial piece of research be your litmus test for whether or not the thing is worth doing. Evan, I'm pretty sure it was a piece of one of your classes, and we have a PDF for it. If I don't have it up and posted, this would be like a good free one that I'll share for like the different phases of research. And phase one is just like the basic smell test. It involves sniffing. We love sniffing tokens on this show. We are big sniffers. And if you can't get through that initial smell test, just let it go, because as people love to point out, 95% of the cryptocurrencies that exist are bullshit and don't need to exist. So there's my final thought, and I'm sorry to dip out, but as always, this was wonderful, and I will see all of you fine people tomorrow. And
Very much.
Don't
forget
the
to live
country
the polls.
not be on fire.
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Casey, to bring people into the question, we were asked about price targets for different things, and I said, hey, let's talk about, if we're going to talk about how people take profits, how people start to do their own research, I wanted to know from these guys how they do that. Alex talked about focusing on when a token is overbought or oversold. Will just talked about finding different ranges using Fibonacci, how to chart these kinds of things to get targets for yourself. And I want to know what Casey is doing. And the goal of this for you as the listener, I hope, is if you do or don't have a profit-taking strategy, this is a fundamental part of it. You can't just go ask influencers, what's their price target for this? You can use that to inform yourself, but you should be able to find a method that works for you so that when you're all alone in the desert and Bitcoin is going crazy or it's all gone to zero, you know what to do if you can't get a hold of, Crypto Dad.
Yeah.
So Casey, what's your strategy look like that helps you do this consistently?
Yeah, so
Casey,
it's,
I'm sorry to wreck you real quick, but did you guys see the comment, which is, I love this show. It's made me hate every pick in my portfolio.
oh no.
Sorry about it.
Sorry, not sorry.
But crypto machinery, I would say on the other side of that too, like we all have different things. I guarantee you none of any of us on this call, none of our portfolios look exactly the same. So that's okay too. Like there may be things that you're invested in that we have no idea what they are, or that, whatever. So don't just think that what we say is the end all be all either. And that's the beauty of the space. Mm-hmm. Like the richest people I know in crypto, everybody's portfolio looks different.
Mm-hmm. Me too. So Casey, what's your strategy to set a price target and consistently take profits?
Yeah, so it depends on what it is, because I don't have a one size fits all answer to that. So if they're, let's say, day trades, or I'm trading on some, short term time frame, it's going to look a lot different than for longer term profit targets. But general rule of thumb is, again, kind of to what Crypto Dad was saying, is I'm looking for when things are overbought or oversold, right? Those are great opportunities. Like if you know nothing about technical analysis, even just looking at what's called the RSI, or the relative strength indicator, it shows you when things are overbought and oversold. And another strategy that I like to employ is always looking at like a little kind of piece of edge that I like to have is looking at governance forums and looking at unlock schedules and things like that for opportunities to capitalize on, whether that means I'm going to get out of a position because it's going to dump, or whether something's going to happen that's going to make it pump. So like those are kind of some of the not such basic answers that I can give, but generally speaking, for longer term assets, I'm looking for areas that they're overbought, they're oversold, and I'm using technical analysis. You know, Will gave a great example, but the simplest way I like to explain technical analysis to people is peaks and valleys, right? So if you're coming out of a valley and you're going to hit a peak, be watching what's going to happen at that peak, right? Are we going to get through the peak and we're going to go create a new one, or are we going to go back down into that valley? And so again, that's like super simplified technical analysis, but I guess TLDR, it depends on what the asset is, and if it's a short-term trade, or if it's a long-term hold, or if it's a meme coin, or if it's again, a longer-term investment. Like meme coins, as soon as I double my investment, I take out my initials, I take out as soon as possible. And I even actually do that on my longer-term holdings. I've learned that from cycle to cycle to be one of the biggest things that I've changed about my strategy, actually. That even on my longer term positions that I believe in, I still am removing my initials whenever it doubles. So like something that I did that on recently was BitTensor, where, you know, the position doubled, I sold half, and you kind of like, you're like, oh, I don't want to sell half of this because it's something that, you know, but every time you feel good about it, because then it went from $620 down to $420. And then you're like, wow, I really stuck to my guns here and it was good for me, right? So don't let what's happening in that moment with the price action influence your decision or your game plan. Like, stick to your guns.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's also like, I feel like more people go to a casino than they actually invest, so more people have experience doing that. It's like if you're sitting at a poker table and let's say you have $100, let's say it's a $5 table, or you know, not poker, but blackjack or roulette or something. You put your $5 down on the table, it hits black or red, or you beat the dealer and you get your money back, and now you have $10, and then take half of that and go down, cool, that's in my profit pile, and you put your $5 down. And then if you lose that, you still have your profit, right? Or you can build off of that, and then your profit pile slowly grows, and it's gonna do something like this, hopefully, if you're winning. But if you're gambling, and just like when you're investing, which is a little bit less like gambling, hopefully that's your strategy, take your profit, put it on the side, make sure that you're good, because eventually your streak is gonna go down. It's gonna turn to the negative side, or you're gonna make some mistakes down the line. It's inevitable. So make sure you have that stack of profits pushed to the side and not at risk.
Yeah, and just shaving profits over time. Like, it doesn't have to be all or nothing, right? Every 25% gain, pull off 10% of your profits. Every 50% gain, pull off 50% of the profit. Whatever the rule needs to be for you, or whatever you're actually going to stick to. But like, you can come up with some kind of strategy like that for yourself, to where you're shaving, right, over time. And that's and there's times when I've talked about this with people and given an example, and I don't want to get long-winded here because I know we're long, but if you think about,
we're going. You got 20 more minutes.
Go, run.
Okay, cool. So if you think about, like, if you'd have bought one Bitcoin at $65,000. Actually, let's go lower. Let's say you had bought one Bitcoin at $40,000, and then it went up to $65,000. You're presently sitting at $25,000 in unrealized profits, right? So if you're sitting at $25,000 in unrealized profits, and the price comes all the way back down to $40,000, and you never sold anything, you still have one Bitcoin. Now, that's not a bad spot to be in. You still got one Bitcoin, right? But if you'd have been employing a strategy of taking some profits throughout the way and then buying back in on pullbacks, again, depending on where you got in, where you're doing it, the math works out to where you'd have had a lot more Bitcoin and a lot less of your, losing out on what happened if you'd have done that. The other thing is just in longer term positions, dollar cost averaging. So if you are underwater on a position, like going back to that Bitcoin example, if you bought one Bitcoin at the top last cycle at $69,000, in all cycle you put, let's say, $100 a month into Bitcoin, you would have averaged down to around like $35,000, and you'd be sitting heavily in profit at this point. So just again, keep in mind, like, where you got in isn't the end all be all, but also it's nice to be taking profits along the way rather than just sitting. And Bitcoin is, I'm fairly hypocritical on Bitcoin because I'm not somebody who tends to trade in and out of my long-term Bitcoin position. I do actively trade Bitcoin on a day-to-day basis, but not my holdings of Bitcoin. I'm talking I trade it on a DEX, and then the rest of my Bitcoin just doesn't get touched.
Yeah. How quick are you to redeploy profits? Sonoran wants to know. And are you selling into something else? Like, some people are like, oh, I'm going to swap for a new position, or I'm always swapping to USDC or something.
Yeah.
I'm less quick these days. Like right now, I'm sitting in a good stablecoin position, and I'm cool with that. It used to make me really anxious whenever I was sitting in stables because I felt like I needed to be doing something. And I'm also okay with, again, kind of if you miss out on like the first 5% pump of something that you've been keeping your eye on, but you think it's going to go run, 100%, that's okay if you miss out on that so that you got the confirmation of that move. Totally fine. Like now I'm cool with it. I didn't used to be cool with it, and I would get myself wrecked all the time. So I'm at a loss. There's a lot going on around me right now, but I kind of lost what was the question. But
are you selling into something else, and how quick are you to redeploy?
Yeah, how quick are you to redeploy was the second piece.
Oh yeah. So I guess like there's no rush to redeploy into anything. Like whenever I used to have a strategy of where I was really, really strict with it, where when I would pull profits, I would immediately then go spread them out amongst my other current holdings, right? So like I would go and DCA them into all of my other current holdings. And now there's times when I don't want to add to the positions that I have right now. Like I'm comfy with where they're at. I don't want to keep adding to that position. So I guess there's not like a one size answer for that. It's asset dependent, but typically whenever I am sitting in stables, it's so that I can get into a different position, not just so that I can solely add to the ones that I'm in. But I do still dollar cost average them.
Yeah. And with me, it took really this past year for me to be comfortable with, because before it's like I'm in a bull run and I have my Bitcoin that I've had for years, and then I have my altcoins, but like I'm really rooting for my altcoins because those are like the big quick money gainers, right? And so it took me really until this year to be comfortable with just being happy with the gains that I'm getting from Bitcoin and the gains I'm getting from interest being earned on my stable coins. And like, it was funny when I sold into the, which this was a mistake, but when I sold into the Japanese carry trade major dip, because I was just afraid of recession and a few other things, I was just waiting and chilling and waiting to see strength in the market, saw strength and redeployed. But for those, a month and a half, 2 months or so, I was like, oh, I'm really okay with just like watching my Bitcoin go up because I don't ever sell my Bitcoin. And then like, I'm really okay with watching like the interest I'm earning on this USDC stablecoins. Like I don't feel like I'm missing out. Like I feel like I'm taking my time. And like, that's a nice place, just a nice place to be. It's a much more confident position to be, I would say.
Yeah, and I used to be uncomfortable with stablecoins too, but the Coinbase thing has really honestly helped. But there are many places you can go to stake, and when you're doing this, you got to be careful. I don't think it's probably wise to stake all your tokens in one place. You got to make sure there's no long time lockup period, because the last thing is you want to buy something and all your capital's locked up for 10 days or something like that, or you got to pay 11% to get it back, whatever the hell. But there are options if you don't like Coinbase. Hyperliquid is a good option with a lot of stablecoin plays, and depending on which your preferred stablecoin is, you can always just go to DeFi Llama and search for different staking or yield opportunities based on their APY or how much liquidity there is, to find something that works for you, as light or as heavy as you kind of want to do it. Okay, so we just went through. Casey, first, are you complete? Are your thoughts on that topic complete? Because I want to summarize that for people, and especially for people who are just coming in, because that was a really valuable segment.
I think so. I like I said, I'm at the polling location and there were 15,000 people walking around me when I said it, so I kind of lost my brain function there. So I don't even know what I said, but yeah, my thoughts are done because I don't have any.
It was good.
I'm going to summarize just everyone's take in 2 or 3 sentences. So if you missed Alex's, Crypto Dad is left the building, but I'm sure he's watching you or he's the voice inside your head. We're talking about how do you arrive at price targets. The most basic step of taking profit, realizing profit in crypto is like knowing when you buy. And I think, honestly, before you buy, you should know this. Like, what's your plan? How long are you going to hold this? How long are you going to check in on it? What are you looking to gain from it? And then be ready to pivot. Because that's how you get ahead of the gut feeling. Alex said he looks for when cryptos are overbought or oversold. If it's a really green day, he sells. If it's a really red day, he buys. And he just watches occasionally. He pays attention by doing the show and doing his work so that he knows for the tokens he holds, which is a smaller amount, easier to keep track of, if it's at a local low or a local high like that, he can take action and he might move 10 or 20%.
Lauren was also saying that he is always watching.
He's always watching. Yeah. My sister did Roz for Halloween one year, and she has the best Roz impression. I'll try and find a picture or a video. Will, you gave us a little like technical analysis, starting with finding a consolidation pattern. You brought up the Fibonacci numbers. You showed us how to identify gaps, how to estimate from those gaps when there's a pinch in our chart, what a conservative range might be for will it go higher, will it go lower, something you also touched on, Casey, so that people could start finding what those numbers might be for themselves. And then, Casey, you really brought it home with is it a long-term, short-term thing? All you're trying to do is shave profit off. I loved what you said because it's something I found to be simple for me about when your position doubles, take it out. It's not that uncommon. Someone asked this in our Discord the other day. How easy do you guys think it is to get a 2x? And I think the sentiment in crypto is like, honestly, it's way easier than it is elsewhere. And if you can do that a couple times, it's not the riskiest plays in the world. And consistently take out 50%, you're playing with house money, you're making profit. The TLDR is, it's the system that works best for you. If you didn't see this segment, you got to go back. Well, you got to give me the recording for this one. This has been a great episode. We got to put it on the YouTube channel. And this is the only thing I'll say about price targets. We've all talked about this before. I think it's an instrumental skill you should do before you buy. You're not going to miss out on life-changing crypto money because you waited to do some research, checked the market, looked on the governance forums, learned as you would with any great movie whose plot you wanted to understand. You would start at episode 1 and just spend a little time getting to know the characters, which ones you liked, which one you didn't, who you wanted to spend more time with. And then, because you knew them better, you could move with more conviction. You wouldn't buy an asset and then 6 months later have to say, is now a good time to sell? You would know.
Yeah, and
that's it.
And touching on that, but also something Casey said, and this is something I totally, absolutely relied on when I first got into crypto in 2017. It's just, we all get in here, right? And you see your talking heads on your YouTube and your Twitter and your TikTokies, right?
Little tablet.
Yeah, and we're all talking about coin A and coin B and coin C, D, E, F, G, H, J, the whole alphabet, right? And I made the mistake when I was first starting of just diving into those coins, and then I took the time to then go back and do what should have been step 1, which is to figure out what everybody's talking about, write it down on a list, create a list that way. Because there is some that, when you're in this space for a little bit, maybe your like second year or so, you just hear coins that influencers are talking about, you've been burned once before on them, and you just totally write them off. That is also, they're two extremes. Diving in when you hear about a coin and immediately writing a coin off when you hear people talking about it. They're two extremes that, in my personal opinion, neither is the right choice. When you hear about coins being talked about, it is either they are being paid to talk about it, or they are genuinely valuable, addressing a pain point in the space, or are addressing a pain point in the real world, which is the most valuable scenario. So put those coins on a list and then go to their websites. And like Alex said, if you go on their website and you have no idea what the hell they're selling, cross that off the list, right? Then go through that, cross that off, you have a shorter list. Then go on your coinmarketcap.com or your coingecko.com and figure out, go to the trending tab on there, Figure out what's trending. Like, oh, gaming is trending, or tokenization of real world assets are trending. What types of cryptos are trending? And then look at your list again. And if they aren't on that, maybe cross a few out, and then take that small, very, very, very short list and figure out 3, 4, maybe 5 of them that you like the most and then that you think is valuable. And then go, and there you go. Now you have like your first initial, as like a newbie, you've done a decent amount of research to really reduce your risk of getting into a rug pull or getting into a project that people are just being paid for and are being given tokens to then dump on their audience, right? And you're putting yourself in a much better position to win while still having so much more room to grow in your own research capabilities. And that's where you spend more time and you find the good people out here, like the Alex, the Evans, the Caseys, maybe me, I don't know, maybe all these people out here. You start to find the good ones who are here to try to teach you, and then you increase your own level, if you will, if you're thinking like a video game, to be able to do your research and create really strong confidence in your own opinions and your portfolio, right? And that journey for me took years, right? It can take a really long time. But just try to focus on getting there, and you absolutely will. Mistakes will be made along the way, but don't get discouraged by that. Keep moving forward, keep educating yourself, keep building your network, and you'll absolutely get there.
Whew. Okay. We're nearing the point where we've dropped so many bombs. I don't want to bet against the streak.
I was going to go grab my new mic and drop it, but it was too expensive.
I don't want to bet against the streak, but it's about that time where we start doing final thoughts. And I want to give a quick commercial first. And if, with your permission, obviously say whatever you want for your final thought. But a good question that we do every now and then is tell us more a little about your background and like how do you do crypto full time? What did you guys do? How did you get here? And I will give you a second to think about it and answer it briefly first after I tell you that if you do want to accelerate your learning journey, we're here Monday through Thursday. And we're sharing helpful news, commentary, answers to your crypto questions. We have lots of free educational resources and even resources you can pay for to get like deeper into, to accelerate your learning journey. But you don't have to spend a dime to come hang out with us. All our episodes go to YouTube after this. Our Discord server is the place the show lives 24/7 at discord.gg/riseup. And we have a live course coming up I want to tell you about real quickly. We did 4 this last month. We will do them again. They're sort of the crypto quick start, the fundamental courses that teach you all the skills in order that you really need to start asking your own questions and moving about safely here. But we have a synthesis course at the end of this month, looking like 11/24. Don't hold me to that date. I'm just giving you a ballpark because I don't have my calendar in front of me. It's a Sunday. We'll have a live Q&A session. If you're a member of our Discord, we'll post about it there. If you're a premium member, you'll get a discount. We'll try and make it affordable for everyone, and we will release the recordings to people so that whoever you are, wherever you listen, if you have a crypto question and you just want to like ask us your question in a focused conversational setting, you can do it. I can't tell you how helpful that has been to me learning. All those resources are at theriseupmorningshow.com.
Also,
and
we have a question here. We have a question here from Joe. It looks like Joe's having a hard time purchasing the link to the October courses, or purchasing through the link. Do we have an issue with that? Are we working on it? Is there an update there?
Well, Joe, it is working. We had a couple people get recordings of how to DeFi. Some folks got the Web3 101 recording. If it is not working for you, please send me a direct message. Joe and I are in touch. She knows how to get a hold of me. And yeah, you can buy a recording. If you don't want to wait for the next series of live courses, you can get the recording for $15. It's super helpful. You get all my notes, a great PDF that Alex and I collaborated on. It really he led. That's gonna help you save tons of time, lots of money, and frustration. Like it's accelerating your learning journey. And then we call it the Rise Up community because at the end of it all, we expect you to help too. Your curiosity, your ability to move about the space and come back and share with the group what you learn, that is going to help us all learn, grow together, and we say, rise up. That's what it's all about. Yeah. So my final thing is, you want to know who I am and how do I do this? I do this pretty much full time, but I also do a lot of other things. I'm an occasional actor. I am a first career actor. I used to do a lot of writing, speaking, orating, editing, performance in all mediums, and still do. I play music, and I am great proof that anybody who is curious and interested can learn about crypto, even if they're not super rich or super technical. Have fun here and find prosperity. I really am focused on growing this community of people through engaging education, entertainment full time. But occasionally you can find me in Memphis where I'll, be on WikiFeet or setting up a glamping tent or, something else like that.
Never show those toes for free, Evan.
No, man, for just $5 a month, I'll send you a pic every day. I don't know. I'm working. Anyway, so
Only
that's me.
$5 a month. Wow, these feet are on discount.
Tell the folks who you are, and Will, wear the cone of shame as you tell them why you're not doing this full time. And then anything else you guys would like for final thoughts. Will, you're hosting. It's a habit.
I don't do this. The ticker of the host doesn't matter so much, But why I don't do this full time is because I need more income to come in to be in a financial position to be able to adopt Alex as my son and to take him on sailing trips along with me in Watch Hill, Rhode Island. So that is number one goal. Number one. Number two is to then buy some more Pokemon cards. No. But seriously though, although the Pokemon cards, I'm not joking. So I live in Boston, been here for 9 years or something. I've been in crypto. I started investing in 2017 when I found out about Ethereum. And Ethereum got me super excited because it was the idea of programmable money. And I was just starting my career for 2 years at that point, working in the AI machine learning space, the analytics space. I'm not technical. I'm just a sales rep and consultant. But I was working for the company that created analytics about 60 years ago now at this point. But, and so I was working with data scientists every day. I was like, ooh, programmable money, what the hell is this? Started diving into research from about 10 o'clock at night till 4:30 in the morning. And then I took every single dollar I had and put it into Ethereum, which was I think it was $50 Ethereum at the time, $75 Ethereum. And then, I didn't sell any, rode my bag up, rode it all the way back down, played with altcoins, got totally wrecked, learned some very valuable lessons. And then in 2019, I liquidated my 401k and put it into Bitcoin at $6,800, which has been a fantastic decision. And then I started making content in 2020 and I started consulting for some NFT companies. The coolest was I consulted a company that made the first ever NFT of a live performance in Times Square with Tecci Fatule, who's a very, very, she's a Latin Grammy nominated singer and songwriter. That was super, super cool. But content wise, I started making the content in 2020, but my content sucked. No one listened to me. And I didn't really start getting traction until the second half of 2023. Found Evan and Alex, or really Alex found me in 2024, started working here at the show. And I've been able, I don't do this full time. So I do this while balancing a full-time corporate sales job for the largest software and services company out of Canada. I work with the largest Fortune 100 supply chain companies in the world, like Pepsi is a customer of mine, Estee Lauder is a customer of mine, and I help them manage their supply chain strategies. I do that, and then I do this crypto stuff, and it's a good time. And hopefully one day you guys buy enough courses and subscribe to enough Discord premiums to the point where I don't have to do that and can just focus on crypto full time. So it's up to you, okay?
And also tell your sponsor friends about us if you use a great crypto tool.
Yeah.
We are aggressively working on the tools and capacity, the outreach. We want them to pay for everyone else to learn too. They write bigger checks than you guys, no offense.
It's not. Tell those companies that they need presence on TikTok because they currently don't, and it's garbage. Oh yeah, and before that, my dad was Air Force. He got out of that when we were young, so it was a military family. But my mom also came from a farming family. But they both got into corporate sales. So my mom had homespun clothes. My dad was a military brat his entire life, and then my dad ended up helping to create Michael Dell's business plan for Dell, which launched my dad's career in sales and corporate management. And then my mom created her own real estate company. So it was kind of like for my mom's side, it was rags to air quote, upper middle class riches. But yeah, and that's the background. I have 3 older brothers. They're also all named William. It's very confusing. I like Pokemon cards. My favorite color is oh god, I can see it. Why can't it's like teal? I like teal a lot.
Periwinkle?
My hands. I have short fingers but big palms.
And you had at least 12 Halloween costumes.
And I have 14 Halloween costumes.
But who's counting?
My favorite cookie is oatmeal raisin, and I don't care how mad that makes all of you. And there you go. That's a little bit about me.
That was diabolical. Thank you, Will.
Yeah, there you go. That was diabolical.
Casey, what about you? And then before you go, you have to tell us a return to the riddle of the day. Fish or leaves. And I got to tell you, I've been thinking about it way more than I should, and I'm in camp leaves. I'm in camp leaves all day.
Well, first of all, I don't know how I can follow that. Like, what do I even say? I'm like,
Go on a riff. Yeah.
I'm the crypto lady. I've been like,
I'm the crypto lady.
yeah.
You could. I will save you from yourself by saying the first time Casey came on our show, it was after I had heard the story of your origin in crypto, and I asked you to retell it on an episode they can find on YouTube titled "I Used Bitcoin to Buy Drugs." Incredible crypto panel discussion.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So I guess like my intro to before crypto. Well, okay. My intro to crypto was via buying drugs on the dark web, as he alluded there, and I talk about that publicly.
But it's a thrilling
no.
tale.
Yeah. I talk about it publicly, like it's
Right.
and yeah, I mean, made shitloads of money from 2014 to 2017 with Bitcoin, sold out of most of it in 2017. Wasn't in a good place in my life at that time, was using a lot of drugs and was being very reckless. And, that money that I'd made in crypto about killed me. And I about killed me, not the money. But in 2018, so in 2017, 2018, I started getting arrested all the time. I started really, really just going down a bad path, ruining my life. In 2018, I went to rehab, and I'm happy to say that I am 6.5 years clean and sober now, and life is far sweeter today than it was back then. But that was my intro to crypto. So for me, like, crypto wasn't a happy thing for me. It was like, I was like, fuck that Bitcoin stuff. It almost killed me. But really, that was just me not taking ownership of my life choices. And so crypto kind of kept reoccurring in my life, though. Like, it came back in 2019. I had some friends that were in crypto, and then I got interested in it again. And at that time, I was trying to rebuild my life, and I was trying to learn about money, and I was trying to, just establish myself as a person who was doing things with money that were responsible. So I took the time to learn about it, and I was working in commercial real estate at the time. I was with a Fortune 200 company called JLL. If you live in a city and you look up at a building, there's probably a JLL sign on it somewhere. But so I had a great career. Hold for a dump truck. I had a great career, was climbing the corporate ladder. Things were going really, really well. And in 2021, I discovered DeFi, or decentralized finance, right? So I was already in crypto, but came across DeFi in 2021. And that's when I absolutely fell in love with crypto, and it completely changed my life. I started making, lots and lots of money. I started just falling in love with the tech side of things and what it could do to revolutionize not only our financial systems, but so many systems, like Will, he works in supply chain. Like there's so many potential applications for blockchain and supply chain and so many various industries that I don't know, I just completely became obsessed with crypto. And so, again, 2021 was kind of like where I made it in crypto, and I quit my 9-to-5 job and have been full-time crypto ever since. And, made it, lost it, made it back. Like there have been, if anybody has ever come here and told you that they've had just like a straight up easy journey throughout the whole way, I would be very suspicious of that person, because, for me, like if anybody ever heard about the collapse of Terra Luna, that was one of my worst days ever in crypto. I lost 7 figures on my birthday. Happy fucking birthday, Casey. And so it was, there have been times that it's been really rough, and it has, challenged me to not want to be in the space and to not want to, continue because it's hard. And there's it's money and it's emotions, right? But I believe in the grander scheme of things. And again, anytime I've lost it, you make it back and you learn from those mistakes and you do that. So like I got rugged too on a big thing that was, I don't know, I can't even get into all the details of it now, but there's mistakes that we have all made, that I think the purpose for me and for these guys to be here to talk to you is to make sure that you don't make those same mistakes, right? And I was actually just chatting with a friend of mine yesterday that he lost a lot more than I did in that stuff. He lost $40 million in that stuff. Whoa. And so, yeah, like, but we're all still in crypto, and it's because, like, you know, there's I mean, he's made way more than that back, but still, it's just wild that, like, you think about, you talk to somebody in some other industry that if they lost $40 million doing whatever it is that they did, like, they'd probably never ever go back and do that thing again. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes you a better investor, and yeah, I don't know. So I like to just be transparent that although I've had, you know, like, some good wins publicly, I also like to publicize my losses too, where it's like, you know, you don't win always and forever.
Mm-hmm. No. Well said. And that is the exact kind of thing you want to hear from KOLs, you know, or, you know, influencer kind of people, like honesty, transparency, like, you know, it's a winning strategy is typically almost never just given to you. It is earned through cuts and bruises and falling down and mistakes that you've made in your life. And the people who tell you that they've been perfect for forever are shysters or the luckiest person alive. But we all know that's Nancy Pelosi, because that's all luck there. So, you know, yeah.
Yeah, but I will say, though, too, like, you know, regardless of the bad times, like, I am so incredibly grateful for crypto and taking the time to educate myself on this emerging technology. Like, crypto has given me a life beyond my wildest dreams. Like, you know, right now I'm at home, so I can vote, but I travel full time right now. Like, I spent most of the year just effing off all around the world. Next week I'm going to Thailand for an undetermined amount of time just because I want to, like, and this isn't to brag, this is to say, like, you know, if you take this stuff seriously, it can really, really change your life. Like, for me, I just wanted the freedom to kind of do whatever I wanted on my time. You know, and crypto is an asset class that can allow that for you. So if you do take things seriously and you don't just, again, kind of blindly follow things, you need to come up with your own ideas. You need to learn, not just regurgitate. You need to apply your own thoughts and principles, and you need to just get in there and do it. Like, that's a big thing that I love to say to people too is, you know, I hate to use the analogy of, like, you don't want to learn business from a professor who's never had a business, right? Because they have the you know, like, theoretically how to run a business, but they've never, yeah. But I think there's kind of merit and not to that, right? But in crypto specifically, like, there's a lot of people that can talk about things in crypto, but they've never actually done them. Like, so that's another thing, is just get in there and do it. That's one of the biggest ways that you can learn. And I don't mean do it in a risky fashion where you're losing all your money, but I mean, just get in there, do it, get the keystrokes down, like, get down, play with, when I was coaching students, I would always tell them, like, take $100 whenever we go through this stuff and do it, because it's enough that you're not going to give a shit if you lose it. And, you know, everybody's situation is different, but these people, they had paid a lot for the course. So I know that $100 isn't enough for them to care. So take $100. It's enough for you to actually see something happening, but it's not enough for you to care and to be like super, super scared to make any kind of moves, right? Or same thing when you're practicing a new skill in crypto, like moving money or bridging or swapping or whatever, do it with $5 because you'd rather lose $5 than $5,000 in an effort to do it. Like, it's not so black and white, and you don't need to make it so black and white either. That's like the biggest tip that I can give you guys, is just get in there and do it and be willing to learn, be willing to lose. But, like, if you keep hanging around good people and keep learning and keep growing every day, you're going to win more than you lose. Like,
yep.
It will happen.
Yep. Well, guys, with that perfect gem once again from Casey, it's time for us to kind of wrap up a bow on this. So everyone, just want to say thank you for all of the likes. Thanks for the engagement. I will say I've hopped into some other lives as well. And with audiences that are, you know, larger than this, the comment section is not nearly as active. There aren't nearly as many questions. So thank you guys for helping us build and bring together this amazing community of people from all walks of life, all across the world, different political parties, different sides of the aisle, all that kind of stuff, to come in here and just like help each other. And for the folks in the Discord too, if you've been in there, it's just people helping people, which is awesome to see. So we're really proud to be building that, but we're really proud of you guys as well for helping us to foster this kind of environment. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. If you're not in the Discord as well, you can find the link to the Discord on my profile page or on Evan's. Also, if you're not following Casey, as you can see, if you've been here, she's phenomenal. Go and give her a follow, guys. But that's it for today. If you haven't gone out and voted and you're an American citizen, get on out there, go and vote for the country. And everyone, no matter who wins, Bitcoin's going to be just fine, no matter who wins. I'm going to hold you here. I'm going to hold both sides of your face. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. There you go, guys. That's it. Have a good day. Do good things. Be good people. Make a bunch of money. Rise up.
Bye, everybody.